Okay, folks, welcome to this week's FIFE Property Update. This is the week from the 22nd of May to yesterday, the 28th of May. We're looking right across the whole of the FIFE market about the properties that have actually come to market within that period on the market themselves through the Rightmove statistics with all the estate agents that list on Rightmove against everything that's gone under offer and sold in the same week. Now, why do we do this? This gives us a strong indication about where the property market is just now, because there's the doom mongers out there that are predicting a property crash, but on a local level and an isolated level in terms of where we are right now. Let's look at these numbers and see if that is or could be the case. Okay, let's talk about the numbers. I'm going to pop them up on my screen. Now, this is right across the FIFE property market. As you can see in Cooper, 8 properties came to market within the week. 8 properties went under offer and sold. So, you know, whatever's coming on is getting sold straight away. There's no lack of demand there. East Neuk, 4 came on, 10 sold. Do you think there's a lot of demand in the East Neuk area? Quite possibly. St Andrews, 7 versus 4. That's quite typical for St Andrews. Leadmouth, 6 versus 8. Again, demand outstripping supply. Dunfermline, 51 versus 42. Even Stevens, you know, that's kind of where Dunfermline is just now. But last week, demand was a bit more than what the supply was. So it evens itself out. Glenrothes, 14 sold, 9 actually came on the market. So demand, again, outstripping supply. Kirkcaldy, 27 came on and 42 sold within the same week. So do you think there's enough demand in the property market to keep it going? Possibly. That's really what the reality is in the Fife area. Let's look at that again. Look, 112 properties came to the market and 128 were actually sold. So 16 properties, more than what actually came onto the market, actually sold within the Fife market itself. Let's take a quick look just to back that up. Where are we right now in terms of Zoopla statistics? We could jump onto Zoopla and have a look at that. If I can just share my screen again with Zoopla stats. Here is Zoopla. We can see it right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm just check. Yep, you guys can see that. So the previous week, we had looked at this in the previous weeks before. We saw the number of properties available throughout Fife creeping up to round about the 600 level in terms of how many properties were available for sale in Fife. Now, when it's down, in the times where the boom has been, it's been down at the, less than 550, it's been about 500, and sometimes it's actually been down at 400. Now, pre-pandemic levels, we were sitting at about 1,200 properties available on the market for sale in Fife. So let's look at this number right now. We'll just type in Fife and see what is actually available in the Fife area to buy. 527 properties. That says it all. We are now coming back down to a stage where we've not got enough properties on the market to buy. Therefore, the price boom will still continue to happen as a result of that. So maybe that could tell you a lot of things about what's happening in the Fife property market right now. I genuinely believe this is what's still happening right across the market itself, as people still continue to go like this. We had done a couple of shows, and I will talk about this. One of them was about has the Fife property market actually peaked? And this was the show we actually did. Let me jump back to these stats again. I'm just going to stop sharing that screen. It's a wee bit pernickety here in terms of what we're doing to do that. And then I'll share my other screen. We'll jump back to where we are in terms of these numbers again. So there they are right now. I mean, that definitely shows you demand is outstripping supply still in the Fife property market. Let's talk about quickly talk about these shows. So has the Fife property market peaked? Perry and I and Jimmy actually went into a lot of detail on this. Now, the links in this post, either above, below, left or right, depending on what platform you're on. And we talked about, has the Fife property market peaked? And should you buy now or wait for the bargains? Now, if you're a first-time buyer, we prove beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you wait a couple of years to wait for the bargains, you're going to lose out big time. It's going to cost you a lot of money. And we've actually proved it within the show how that happens, and actually showed you the example of how that actually happens, that you will end up paying more if you wait for the price to come down. Work that one out. but it's true. So you can read the article. It takes 4 or 5 minutes to actually read and digest. You could watch the show on this link, which is round about an hour, but it's all our input as well, which gives you a real good indication about where we are right now. If you're looking to buy or sell within this market in Fife, then you should be really listening to that or watching that show. Now, when I say listen, the podcast is on there as well. So you can listen to that when you're driving to your work or coming from home or any time you want, when you're out walking as well. I know some people wouldn't want to listen to the droning in my voice when they're out walking. It's probably the last thing you want. But the knowledge and information in there is actually key to what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve. So we actually ask questions like, are there clouds on the horizon for the Fife property market? And we answer these questions in full detail. Is it realistic to see double-digit national house price growth in the future? We also talk about the change in UK real disposable income and why that has an effect on the Fife property market in comparison to the other examples of when there was crashes. Predominantly, the one we talk about is the credit crunch. And surely the Fife property market is peaked, and buyers should wait for bargains. Well, that's another story, and I've just actually said that, and maybe given the answer to that straight away. And we also talk about, but what if Fife house prices do drop significantly? What effect will that be? Did you realise that the typical first-time buyer terraced house in Fife sells for £162,800? And then we go through the detail about how that will affect the first-time buyer, and the fact that first-time buyers should. The conclusion is should buy now. And we show that in detail, why they should buy now. And if you actually waited for a couple of years, you would actually end up spending possibly about £18,000 in rent. That's possibly why you should buy now. When you work all that out and the drop in the opportunity cost and opportunity loss, this gets into immense detail in there. But it's factual. So watch that. We also talk about blooming rentals and this as well. I'll be talking about the coming soons and what's been sold so far in the next 5 minutes. Blooming rentals, growing your returns, why the garden has become so important when you're actually renting property now as an investor and a landlord, and what you should be doing to maximise that and also give your tenants exactly what they would be expecting. Let's talk about what's coming to market. Okay, let's get on to the good stuff. Let's talk about quickly what's sold, just so you know what's been sold recently, so you know the price points that these properties are going for. If you've got a property like this, then it could be time for you to sell. You could end up allowing you to have your dream home next, and you might not even realise your house is worth so much. South Views in Upper Largo. It is away within 2 weeks. 3-bedroom detached house with spectacular views. Lots of people said this was their ultimate dream house. It was on at offers over 500,000, and it's away in Upper Largo. Okay, that gives you a good indication about the price points for here. James Street in Pittenweem, commercial property lounge about. The two properties upstairs, the 2 bedrooms either side, are still available. They've just gone on the market. This one's just gone on the market with the garage at the back, and this one's got real good interest in it. I expect we're actually going to get offers on that. But lounge about downstairs is away for a record price. It was on at offers over 100,000, and I went way beyond that. So if you've got a commercial property in these areas, it could be possible that it might be the best one for you. And I will talk about another commercial property coming up in this area as well in Anstruther. Sold in 2 weeks. Upper Dalgarn in Cooper. This was on at 165,000, offers over, and it was a 2-bedroom semi-detached house, and it was away. Offers over 165,000. Now, a couple of years ago, they were going for about 140. So it just shows you how much these property prices have gone up within that time. Let's talk about what's coming soon. This is what everybody wants to know. The old Cleek factory in Anstruther is going to be coming up. This is a warehouse industrial unit. It is roughly, now if I remember off the top of my head, it's probably about 120 square metres on the floor itself. And then it has an office on the front, which is round about 25 square metres as well, and parking out to the side. It is nice and central for the Anstruther Eastneak area and could be the ideal commercial premises for a trader or a local business, or a number of local businesses could be converted into a number of units that you could, all these wee individual businesses could use. So it could be great for an investor as well. But also at Station Road, it's close proximity to obviously the St Andrews Road, which is across from Wade Academy, and it's also just across from the Co-op as well. So that's where it is in terms of central Anstruther. So that will be coming on this week, the old Clique factory in Anstruther. I was about to say St Andrews there. Don't know why, maybe because I mentioned St Andrews Road. Hallfield Gardens, Kenway, 3-bedroom semi-detached house will be coming on. Northmuir Place in Glenrothes, a 3-bedroom detached bungalow. I'll say that again, bungalow, like hen's teeth for people that want to downsize. There's your opportunity right there, right now. The key I'm telling you about these just now is just to get in touch with us just now and message us the details. We can't give you anything else just now because we're just about to go out and we're going to be doing the photographs and descriptions, putting them together. But to get yourself in a position to do something about it and make sure you're ready to make an offer when the time comes, when it does hit the market, which will probably be this week. We'll be doing pre-portals on these properties. Then you know you're in a position to do something. So get ready now. It means just message us your contact details. So message your contact details, your email address, your telephone number. We'll get back in touch with you and we'll have a wee chat with you about it and what your circumstances are and what your criteria is. And then we can actually, as soon as this comes on, we can notify you about it when it's ready to go. Okay, Morton Crescent in St Andrews, a 3-bedroom detached house will be coming on as well. University Avenue in Pittenweem, that's the one I just spoke about. The 3-bedroom, actually, it's not. We've got another one in University Avenue in Pittenweem, a 3-bedroom semi-detached house. I went out to this and I kind of wanted to keep it quiet at the time. I didn't do a top secret on it. I don't think anyway. And it's got amazing views from the top floor right across the waters. So you can actually see everything across the waters. So it's really nice. And you can see the West Braes project as well. And you can see down where the coastal path is and that. So Balcornwall Road in Crail, that's going to come on us. 4-bedroom semi-detached bungalow. And that's actually amazing views. I did do a top secret on that one over the actual countryside. It's a beautiful property. It's on a huge plot as well. It's even got its own wee private pond. I almost thought like it could be a boating pond for children. So if you've got a young family, it's like, and it's even got its own indoor swimming pool. So that Balcornwall Road in Crail, if you're interested in that one, please message us. Claybraes in St Andrews just gone on. I did a pre-portal on that on Friday. Shore Street in Anstruther, that is another 2-bedroom upper apartment. I did do a pre-portal on that on Friday as well, and that has planning permission to convert it into a 3-bedroom apartment and overlooking the harbour and right across to Berwick and Leith. And you can see the Bash Rock and May Isle and all the rest of it, and it's a beautiful location. So that's Shore Street in Anstruther as well is coming on. Completed, just to finish off, 44 Warwick Close in Lookers, a 2-bedroom end terraced house sold in 1 week over the home report value for £136,000. Other people missed out. So if you've got a property in Warwick Close in Lookers, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom end terraced or terraced house, they're very, very popular. They're great price points as well. They're great starter homes. We'd love to hear from you if you're thinking about selling it, because you don't realise possibly what it could be worth and what will allow you, more importantly, what will allow you to do next. If you're not living in your dream home, you need to speak to us because we can make that happen. And that's why you need to speak to us. You don't know what you don't know, and we know what you need to know. And that's the key there. So speak to us before you start that journey, because you could be halfway down that journey and this is where we're going and this is what we know, and you come this way, but you go off this way because you don't realize that you're meant to go this way, because our advice actually keeps you on that track. So instead of zigzagging all the way throughout your journey, you're actually going on a straight path, and we're actually keeping you exactly where you need to be to make the magic happen. That's what this is all about, making the magic happen for you so you can find your dream home. As always, tomorrow I'll be doing the FIFE Property Wealth Creation Show. So Wealth Creation Show, 12:30. Watch out for that. I will be stress testing and showing you how to stress test your property investments. If you're a landlord and investor, I will be showing you how you should be stress testing your property investments to make sure if the tide goes out, you do not want to be swimming naked. It's a fantastic saying that Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, has, but it's true. You don't know how exposed you could be if anything happens to the economy. I'm not saying it will, but I'm saying if anything does, you're always covered then because you've stress tested your investments. You realize if anything changes, you do not need to worry. So everything you hear on the news about recessions, crashes, housing problems, wars, and all the rest of it, you know that you're covered because you've stress tested your property investments for that. So that's going to be live on my personal channels, my public channels at 12:30 tomorrow on the Wealth Creation Show. As always, I'll put the instant valuation tool in here as well, just to give you an idea about what the value of your house is. If you're curious and you kind of want to know the value, but you're not at the stage of getting somebody and lifting the phone and calling somebody out, I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. It's like I would rather just go and find out, online and do an instant valuation first and then find out what the value of my house is first before I actually commit to getting somebody out or talk to somebody about it. More out of curiosity. And then if it is a lot more than I actually think, it's like, okay, let's follow this up. Let's actually speak to someone and see if that definitely is that. Because I tell you what, if it definitely is that, it gives me a lot more choices in terms of what I'm doing. It also allows me to get a better mortgage rate and get a better mortgage deal because my loan to value is a lot less than what it was when I first took my mortgage deal out. So I could actually get a better mortgage deal as a result. I could save myself a fortune, especially at this time when inflation's going up. You could end up getting a better mortgage deal and saving yourself a wee small fortune, which can go towards paying for utilities. So the knock-on effect of the utilities might be actually the saving that you make in your mortgage might actually go to pay for the utilities. So the knock-on effect to you about inflation is minimal because one has paid for the other. The savings has paid for the increase. And that's the key here. That's what we're here for, to help you and make that happen for you. Okay, that's me, guys. Any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. And other than that, I'll see you tomorrow on the Wealth Creation Show at 12:30.